Welcome to the first Dirty Michael's Canada video, where today I'm going to be putting in some work on this rooftop tent rack. So let's bring the truck into the workshop and take a look at what we're going to be doing. This is my 1995 Toyota T100. Approaching 200,000 kilometers, and I've been working on a rooftop tent rack to make life a bit easier for loading bikes whilst also being a bit more fuel efficient. So this rack started off life as a cheap $150 Amazon special that would put the bottom of the rooftop tent higher than the cab of the truck. So when you're going along the highway, all the wind just is a massive windbreak above the truck. So I've been working on a bit of a project trying to make a height adjustable rooftop tent rack so that I can have the tent as close as I can to the roof line whilst driving long distances on the highway, but having it able to also go up so that when there's a lot of bikes over the tailgate, then there's room for all the tires to fit. What I'm going to be doing is working on some brackets to hold the rooftop tent in position. I quickly made these little brackets that are simply welded to this crossbar. However, there's a good amount of deflection in them, so I think I'm going to redo them with something a little stronger. So let's see what we've got in the scrap bin that we can use. I am looking at this piece with a bit of angle, perhaps. So I think the plan is to cut and cope some of this so that we have this edge providing some strength. Cut these, cope them to fit this bar, and weld them in place of where the old ones are. So I think what the plan is now is try and use these winches, and we'll lift this tent right up and right off to give us some space to work and get about cutting off these old brackets. Well, it's got to be said, that worked better than expected. You know, work smarter, not harder. So now we can take a look at what we're kind of dealing with and what we want to improve upon. So I had these pieces of rubber on top to kind of isolate the tent from the bed rack. And it was just that these are simply too flimsy. And you can kind of see them starting to bend up. So let's get to cutting off these welds all the way around and cleaning up all of these points again, and then we will look at that piece of scrap metal and start cutting that up, shaping it. just like that, we have 4 similar-ish looking brackets. Now I just need to cut off this front, these ones on the front, grind them down, and get ready to weld. Just a little bit more grinding, and pretty happy with how they're all sitting. You can see that they sit quite nicely on top. So now take these, attach them to the tent, and bring the tent down, and hopefully I'll be able to get a welder in without setting anything on fire, and put a couple of tacks on these, lift the tent off, and then fully weld them in. That's the day done, working on the rooftop tent rack. Managed to get those couple of brackets, those 4 brackets welded on a lot nicer on the rooftop tent rack. So the tent goes on a lot nicer now. So just needs pretty much tidying up and paint now when I can be bothered to get around to that. So we'll see what we end up doing in the next video.